which will essentially be much more expensive in the long run. So I believe that the opportunities are there. Is now backed by a law, right? But as practitioners, we have to change essentially the pricing model to align more appropriately with the financial capacity of people.
So thank you so much. I mean, we're now going to round off the session. I'm going to allow all of you to have one more sentence, but I want to say something. I had this issue about affordability. Well, for example, today in Nigeria, you know, the mobile phone penetration is, I think, 100 over 110%. About 40–50% of the population have smartphones. I mean, look at how many people watch soccer games across the country, which are not even in our country. All the betting apps are also all increasing, folks. Look at Nollywood, you know, people are watching. So maybe people have money. They just don't think it's important, the products people are selling in healthcare. So this issue on this affordability, but really, you know, maybe we need to think of, I think maybe, and I think that's why, for example, for the National Health Excellence Award, this is about innovation, because it's just really not business as usual. It's all good for us to say people are being poor, but people are spending money on things they want, and they're chatting. When you look at, you know, the number of municipal chats in the world, Nigerians are one of the highest chatters in the world by voice, and they don't have money for healthcare. Very good. So I'm going to.
But let me just say something.
Okay, everybody has one sentence. So you can have your last sentence now. So at that point, I want everybody to have one sentence to round up. Okay, so as Kayode cannot wait for his sentence, Kayode, your sentence.
No. So I agree with you, right? And I mentioned earlier that it is also essential that we make people see whatever they spend on healthcare as an investment and not the cost. Once people can see it in that direction, then I think it starts to change how they prioritize that spending. However, for the telecom companies, right, you also know that over the years they've done a lot of things to make this thing as affordable as possible. So you can even buy the charge card as low as 50 naira, 100 naira. You can get it on credit, and those are the kind of innovation that also has to come into this space.
Okay. I think the issue of financial innovation, I think that's a very interesting one. Marcel, your last word. Do you have anything you want to say? Last word.
Yes. So for me, it should always be about the consumers, which is the patients, right? So any products that you're planning to put out there, ensure that it meets value, it's very affordable. And also looking into the future, ensure that you organize your backend infrastructure so that it can attune to the latest technology that can support transformation going forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chibuzo, who I know you jumped when it was not fashionable, from a stable job into now fashionable environment. Last words.
I think that, thank you for that, AJ. I think that, moving forward over the next few years, you're not going to have health tech companies. I think you're not going to have tech companies. I think every company is going to be in tech. And I think you're just going to have businesses that use or don't use tech. Those who use tech to leverage their platforms or leverage what they're doing, make it more efficient, keep your employees, track your clients. Those are going to be the 21st century companies, and those that don't will die off. Now, what you do with tech is just as important as bringing tech or exploring it. And I think over the next few years, as a country of very innovative, resilient people, I think we should challenge ourselves to not just follow typical business models that are there, and try to step outside the box in terms of what we can do, and continue to push that boundary. And I think we owe it to ourselves, because at the end of the day, right, there's no way, we're not going to graduate enough doctors to treat our patients. We're not going to graduate enough pharmacists, not enough radiologists, not enough obstetricians, not enough services, even if we triple our healthcare spending. So we need to start thinking about innovative ways to tackle these challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chibuzo. Mark, final words on.
So what I would face or focus on is on building critical capacity. You know, it's not just about tech. It's about what policies, what actions the government, you know, at the national and the state level can do to increase the capacity of our health system. Today, you know, we have Nigerian doctors performing wonders abroad, being appreciated for their skills. We can create the kind of environment that existed in India, you know, during the tech boom, where Indians were, you know, going abroad, helping and helping the country in return, you know, by repatriating earnings abroad. So Nigeria, we have the population, so we can as well scale the capacity to be able to churn out more doctors. And also ease our internal burden, because right now, like, you know, one of the speakers said, the ratio of doctors to patient is at a critical level. So we need to scale that capacity to be able to serve ourselves and also to serve the world in that way as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Vamchi, last word. We started the conversation. Do you want to end it?
Well, I would be saying wrong things if I say anything about Nigerian markets, because I don't know much about it, but maybe I'll take parallels from other markets. Is, Igbe, as you mentioned, you know, the behavioral shifts of people to focus on health when it's not acute is a challenge everywhere in the world. Unless you have to go see the doctors because you're very unwell. So I think that's why there has been a huge surge in the whole behavioral and personalized care, is around also the positioning and the messaging has to change around that. Is why do people want to actually pay that little bit to be more to focus on prevention and to be more proactive in engaging and managing their health? And I believe technology is one part of it. But the second, the clear part, the other part is really understanding the behavioral shifts that leads to it. And then we can digitize that experience. But without understanding that and digitizing that experience is not going to help us. So I think shifting the way we think when we build the products is very important for all markets. And I guess the lessons can be learned from what United States has been successful in, not extremely, but a little bit, but the European markets as well. And India, as an example, Mark, you mentioned, is focusing a lot on prevention as well. So I think it's more about understanding the triggers and building digital experience around those triggers, rather than trying to re-engineer something else which is not aligned with the human capabilities. So we don't want to re-engineer humanity. We want to work around the triggers that we already know and are very comfortable with. Hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Vamchi. I think that's a good way to end. And I also noticed a couple of comments in the issue that we need to think about healthcare as an investment. But I really do think, and as a physician myself, I really do think that in the industry, we need to look at issues from also the client or the patient's perspective. What is important to them? It's one thing for us health providers to say, this is important, pay for it. If they don't feel it's important, it's not high on the priority list. So I really think, thinking, and I really think that's why this whole issue on innovation is so critical. Now I'm going to pass over to my colleague, Dr. Busola, who is going to handle the next part of this event. Busola, over to you. Okay, do you have volume now?
I believe so. Yes, I am. Thank you, Dr. Ibe. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our panelists for a very interesting discussion. The second part of this webinar is a pitch where we have 3 companies that will be presenting. I'll go alphabetically again, where we will have Ariteri Africa first, followed by Instant Rad, and then Health Aid. So Otareme will be speaking on behalf of Ariteri. Otareme, can you unmute, please? Otareme. Uriah. Are you there? Maybe we'll come back to you. Biode. Bio. Or did you unmute everyone? Maybe we need to unmute.
Jamie, tell her specifically, she might need to unmute the person specifically.
Okay. And also, if the person from Health Aid is here, please indicate because I can't identify you. Hi there, Osa. Whichever one of you unmute first can go, please. Bye, why are you in the chat? Please unmute. Jamie, please can you the settings? They're saying they can't unmute. Jamie, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Can you hear me? Bio.
Hi.
Yeah, unmuted now. Yes, so please go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, please
Okay.
go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, just a minute.
Have 4 minutes once you start.
Okay, can you hear me, please? And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, good evening to everybody from anywhere in the world. My name is Bayo Dioke, and I'm the country lead for Instant Rad Nigeria. And I'll be presenting a solution that is impacting Nigeria and changing, healthcare service delivery in Nigeria. Now, do you know that globally, more than 4 billion people lack access to radiology services? And these 4 billion people include people who don't even have access to X-rays, CT scans, and MRI, and also people who don't even have access to radiologists to